Our long road trip is almost over. It's the final day of this 12-day stint away from Dr. Pepper Ballpark. And today, as we are every Sunday, joined by the manager of the RoughRiders, Jason Wood. And Jason, I know it's only been 2 weeks that he's been here, but it seems like 4 or 5 times we've been saying, thank goodness for Joey Gallo, right?
Absolutely. Something special, and it's been a big part of our team since he's been here, obviously, and it's been great. So hopefully we can just keep him going and ride this guy out and keep developing and show that power like he has.
Sure, at this point, nothing really surprises you based on what he's able to do hitting the baseball.
No, he's learning his strike zone each and every day, and he's doing a good job of it. The power is always going to be there. He's got a great, tremendous torque in his swing, creates so much power from all parts of the field. He's learning the strike zone, like I say, each day. He's learning his swing. He's still only 20 years old. The more at-bats that Joey gets, the better he's going to be, and the harder work that he puts in, the further he's going to go in this game. It's just a matter of time before it all ends up being, at the big level.
One of the great parts about him hitting the home run when he did is it gave some offensive support finally to Alec Asher, who had not gotten any runs of support in his first 2 games on this road trip. So it was nice to see Alec get a win and be rewarded a little bit for what he has done, because I'm not sure there's been a better pitcher in this league over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
In agreement. I totally agree with that. And to see him, he was come out of that game last night in that inning as well. And so for him to come out in the 5th there, or the 6th, and Joey to put those 3 on the board, even though that was the only tallies that we put up that night, it was good to see our bullpen hold that down and give Alec a win, a well-deserved win for the great performance that he did last night.
The night before, it was a little bit of a strange outing from Alex Gonzalez. I didn't feel like he necessarily pitched poorly. It just seemed like he ran into a ton of bad luck, 12 singles over his 4 1/3 innings. What did you and Jeff take out of that outing?
Well, I don't think it was all bad luck. I think that 12 hits or 12 hits, they weren't all hit very hard. Maybe 2 or 3 of them left the infield. It wasn't a complete bad outing by Cheech at all. It was just one of those nights where certain things didn't go his way. I think that his misses were reasonably down in the zone, something that isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you're going to miss, you want to miss down in the zone, but he was out of whack in a sense that night. I think the game sped up on him a little bit with a lot of things that were being done as far as first and third situations that they tried to take advantage of, bunt plays with runners on first and second. So put all that in perspective, to give up 12 hits and 4 runs and not really too many hard hits, I know the kind of kid that he is, he'll bounce back and be fine for us.
And is that a good learning experience for a guy to go through something like that? Because those are situations that are going to arise in pressure moments in the big leagues.
I think so. Yeah, you don't see games ran like that every day, and certain people do certain things, and it was good for him to see that, to be put in those situations. And the only thing you can ask that he's out there and that he's prepared, and that and Cheech was. It just caught him by surprise in a sense, but he will be prepared, and he has been prepared all the time, and I think he'll be fine.
We're here with RoughRiders manager Jason Wood. Ryan Rua making his 2nd start in left field of this series. Really didn't have much outfield time over the course of his career. Do you see versatility being a big key for him to get up to the major leagues?
It's got to be. We've talked to Ryan about that. He needs to show some versatility. They want to see him play the corner outfield positions. They meaning the front office of the Texas Rangers. So it's something that I have to do as far as putting him out there. And he's fine with it. He's an athlete. He's reacted out there okay. And I think the more reps that he gets out there, he'll be fine. But his bat's going to ride him as far as he can, but he's got the athletic ability to play everywhere in the infield, and I really like the job that he's done at third as an all-star this year, as a starter as an all-star, and the job that he's doing at first base.
Does he remind you a little bit of yourself as a player, a guy who played multiple positions? You had a little bit more time at shortstop coming up, but you were a guy who played almost everywhere on the diamond.
Not by choice. I always thought when I came up in the Oakland A's organization, drafted as a shortstop out of Fresno State, I was going to play shortstop my entire career. That did change. It changed for the better for myself. It lengthened my career out in a long aspect of things. But I think that Ryan is starting to see that the more he can play, the easier it is going to be to climb that ladder and get in the lineup every day. So he hasn't bogged out at once. He's a tremendous kid with a tremendous talent in the bat, and does a great job on defense. And here's a good future for Ryan in this game as well.
Seeing as someone who went through it, what's the difficult part about transitioning from an infield spot, a corner infield spot, into an outfield spot?
I think that one of the toughest things playing in the outfield and not having played out there a whole lot is your routes to the ball, to fly balls. The longer you have to run, the more your head bobs up and down if you don't run on the right part of your feet. So that makes it tough, and fly balls can be tough to judge. But getting reads off the bat will be probably the toughest thing, but he'll adjust fine.
Newest player on the team, Will Lamb, has been really impressive in his first 2 outings with the team. I'm sure that you and the front office and everybody in the organization are very excited over where he has come based on where he was last year. You saw him all the time last year in Myrtle.
Yeah, Will's done a good job. Like you said, I saw him last year, and it wasn't anything like what he's showing now. His velocity was down last year. He was trying to find the right arm slot that made him comfortable. He was making a transition from a starting pitcher to a reliever. He's made that transition nicely, and to see what he's done for the first half in Myrtle Beach and the short time that he's been here has been tremendous. So once again, another guy that we look for good things out of, and hope to have a strong second half by Will.
It's been about 3 weeks since this team last had an off day, and we're starting to see some slumps emerge out of some of the bigger bats in the team. Do you think that maybe this squad is a little bit tired and can use these days off?
Well, I think anybody can use these days off when it comes to minor league baseball, but after a 12-game road trip, 2 cities in 12 days, coming off a first half championship, the mindset may have tended to not necessarily slip, but relax a little bit in a sense to some of them. And so that's where I come into play, and it's my job to get these 2 days, to enjoy these 2 days, to allow them to enjoy these 2 days, and to get back on track once we get back into town on Wednesday. And that's something I look forward to. And we'll hit the floor running on Wednesday and get back after it.
What's the toughest part of a long road trip like this, 12 days being away from home?
I think just not being in your friendly confines of for the driving to the ballpark and parking in your parking spot, to rolling into your office, to each and every one of these guys have a lunch spot at home that they go to being with their loved ones if they have some. There's so many things that go into it, and living out of a hotel for 11 straight nights it'll wear on you. It can, but they've done a good job. They've come prepared and ready to play every day. I tip my cap to these young men, and I don't look forward to any of these road trips anymore. 12 is a long one. That's for sure. The
good news is that you don't have to deal with another one of these over the course of the season. Thinking back to your career as a player and a coach, is this the longest one that you've been on? And can you think of one that was maybe worse or crazier than this?
It's funny you ask. I was talking with my wife this morning, and I told Sissy, I said, this is it. It's the last day of a 12-dayer. And I said, honey, I can't remember a time playing in the minor leagues or even in the major leagues that I went on a 12-day road trip. And she said, well, you know what, I can. It was it happened to be a time when we were in Omaha in the PCL, and went to Iowa, and I think we went back to Omaha. So there was a time, and it wasn't friendly, obviously, but she remembered it, so it did mean something to her.
Well, what does a manager do now with these 2 days off? You've got the All-Star break, you're going back home. You don't need to travel anywhere other than traveling back. So what do you have planned for the next couple of days?
Well, the great thing is I get to spend the time with my family, who will be out here in a day or two, and my 3 young girls can't get enough of baseball. So we will take in a Ranger game on Tuesday night with the likes of Yu Darvish on the mound, who is their favorite pitcher. And I will sit back, enjoy some popcorn, some peanuts, Cracker Jacks, enjoy my family and my wife.
Try not to let the gears work too much there as you're watching the game. Try and take a little bit of a mental breather for us, okay?
Total relaxation. I'll be surprised if I watch too many pitches.
Jason, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck out here in the road trip finale today.
All right, Alex. Thanks a lot.
That's Jason Wood, manager of the RoughRiders. We're back right after this here on the Frisco RoughRiders Baseball Network.